Hello again, everyone, and welcome to the Galen Snyder Show. I'm Vince Reed. And of course, we're brought to you by ARIA Health. Your friends and neighbors here in Lower Bucks County, they'll take care of you when you need their assistance. Well, we're getting set to go. I can't believe it, but we're already hitting the midway point, the 5th game of the season. That's why I say football goes so fast. And 5th game of the season is coming up already. The Falcons, of course, unbeaten right now with a 4-0 record coming into this ball game. And we should have a good one. It's always a good one when you go to Abington. Abington is one of those tough places to play, and Pennsbury knows better than anybody about how tough it's been the last few times they've been out there and had you take it down to the wire before the game was decided. So we've had some really great ones with this game. Even though Pennsbury should be the favorite in the ball game, you can't be sure of yourself. This is a decent Abington ball club, and you know, since they lost the last time, they're looking to bounce back this time. They can't afford to lose 2 early games in the Suburban One League National Conference, that's for sure. I want to just touch a little bit on last week's ball game, and had a chance to talk with Ed Gallagher, the head coach there, for a time before the ball game when he came out, Galen, and I thought he was a really nice guy. In fact, matter of fact, we had a little talk when we got done, and he gave me his lineup that I asked for and everything I wanted. And then we talked, and I asked him what his thoughts were about the ball game, and he was very honest. And he said, you know, we're going to give it all we've got. He said, we've got a nice team here. He said, but there's no doubt. He said, Pennsbury should be the favorite. He said, they're good. He said, they're really good. He said, they got tremendous lines, their speed, their size. They got a great backfield. He said, everybody can hurt you, and Norway is just exceptional. And he said, and their defense is really solid. He said, us, when it comes down to it, he said, we've got 5 guys, juniors on offense, 5 guys sophomore on defense, rather, 5 guys who are also sophomores. That's 10 out of 11. He said, so we're young, we're inexperienced, we're not as big and not as athletic. And I said to him, I said, well, you know, Coach, I said, they were in that boat last year where they had 9 guys who had hardly any experience at all on defense. I said, so maybe you'll be in that situation. I think he was very nice to say and give you a compliment to your team. He says, well, we hope that one day we can get to where Pennsbury is, and hopefully if we're lucky enough, maybe we'll get close to that next year. But I thought that was a nice compliment to your ball club.
Yeah, Ed's a good guy. I've known Ed since 2008. We coached an all-star game together, and he's always been a classy guy. Does a real nice job up there with that program. They've been to the playoffs a few times, and you know, they're a wing T team like us, and you know, so I wish him and I wish them well, and you know, they will get better, and they'll keep improving. I think, you know, like even this season, you know, I know they have a big game coming up this week with Ben Salem. And,
yeah.
You know, I would think they'd be favorites probably to win that game. So, you know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and as far as that goes, the way the game went for you, as far as that is, you look back on it, and undoubtedly you looked it over on film after the game was over. Your thoughts about how your team played in that game?
I mean, I was happy for the most part. I mean, it's always, you know, there's always going to be things that you'd like to see better. You know, some of our line blocking, in spite of the fact that we ran for a significant amount of yards, was, you know, could have been a little crisper, a little cleaner in some respects. You know, defensively, I thought we played pretty well, you know, real well against the run. We flew the ball, but of course we gave up that little drive at the end of the first half, and they scored with a second
yeah.
on the clock. So there's always things that you can work on, you can improve on. But overall, I thought, you know, the team played well. I thought the enthusiasm was there. I thought the toughness was there. I thought the you know, the energy level was definitely there.
All right, we're going to talk about the upcoming game against the Galloping Ghost of Abington coming up right after these messages.
The ARIA 3B Orthopedic Institute is redefining care in Center City and South Jersey. And our 50,000 square foot location on ARIA Health's Bucks campus in Langhorne features private rooms, free parking, and nearby hotels. With over a century of experience, the world-class 3Bs, Doctors Booth, Bartolozzi, Balderston, and their partners personally guide you from treatment through recovery. For all your orthopedic needs, call 1-888-ORTHO-3B or visit aria3bortho.org. At the ARIA 3B Orthopedic Institute, you come first.
If you are looking for a car, where do you go? Faulkner Auto Group at 4427 Street Road in Trevose is where to go for the best deals in Bucks County for all your new pre-owned cars, trucks, or SUVs. Go to Faulkner Auto Group. It's always Faulkner, to be sure. Go online to faulknerautogroup.com. Just remember, it's Faulkner to be sure for all your new cars or trucks. 4427 Street Road in Trevose. Faulkner to be sure.
Hi, this is Congressman Mike Fitzpatrick, and I hope you're enjoying tonight's game. As we gear up for another campaign here in the 8th Congressional District, there are some things that always remain the same, and that's remembering where you came from. I'm proud to say that I was born and raised here in Lower Bucks and attended local schools. That's why I will never forget our community's needs, and will continue to fight for programs like help for flood victims along the Neshaminy Creek, preserving historic land and open space, and bringing the National Veterans Cemetery to Bucks County. As your congressman for the 8th Congressional District, I can promise you one thing, that I will never forget my roots. Thank you very much, and I hope you enjoy tonight's game. Paid for by Fitzpatrick for Congress.
Back again with the Galen Snyder Show. We're going to talk about this Abington Ball Club coming into this ball game. And they've got themselves a couple of wins so far this year. Beaten in their first league game against the Neshaminy Redskins. And it looked like it was going to be a game that two teams pretty much on a par were going to take it down to the wire. And they did, 21-18. Neshaminy came back and, of course, won that ball game and got the victory over Abington. And that's where I mean that Abington's going to be smarting a little bit from that game. Coaches, you look at this Abington team, and of course, whatever you have been able to tell the kids about them, how do you summarize exactly this Abington Ball Club?
Well, I think that they're, they, speaking from, what their defense does, I mean, they're going to be quick off the ball, they're going to attack, they're going to be able to run well. So they'll create some issues for us with their defensive front. Offensively, they're a team that, they run the spread, but they like to run the ball and within the spread and take their shots down the field. They definitely present some issues. They're a good football team. They're 3-1 on the season. It could be 4-0. Then again, they could have lost a couple games there that they pulled out. So that's the way those things go. But they're going to be fired up to play us. They always are. We kind of the last couple times we played them, we've had some real close games back and forth over the years. But the last couple times we played them, we really kind of handled them pretty well. 2 years ago at our place and last year up there. So, there's that issue as far as, getting your own guys to say, hey, we need to really give it our best effort, because they're going to give us their very best effort, that's for sure.
And you look at it, David Kretschmann is over there as their quarterback, and one of the things he got a chance to do last year after an injury to their first string quarterback was to end up playing 3 games of the regular season, 3 more in the playoffs, and had himself in those 6 games over 1,000 yards throwing. So you got to be, looking at a kid who now he's played again some more games this year. So he's had just about a year under his belt as far as that goes. And he's a guy who has some pretty good receivers out there too that he can throw to. So he's got some people. He's got Neely coming out of the backfield. He's got, of course, a good experience end in Shamar Farmer. And, of course, he'll also have Jermaine Webb as well. And when you look at that and the possibility, you know you got to be honest with them as far as throwing the ball.
Yeah, no doubt. I think the quarterback does a real nice job. He has a solid arm. He runs pretty well. So he creates some issues, runs the offense well. And, they're always going to put some points on the board usually over the course of the season with Abington. They've always done a real nice job with that and play tough defense. So obviously, and also special teams. And they feed it up or double, and they return the punt and a kickoff for a touchdown in that game. So they're a dangerous team with speed, and so we'll have to be ready for them.
Yeah, Jordan Neely is one of those guys who returned a couple of those last year, and also had an interception return as well as a couple of kickoff returns. He's tough back there when he's bringing them back. And, of course, another guy is Jawan Soul. Soul is going to be their top runner. From what you've seen from him so far this year, what do you anticipate from him and how you are trying to stop him?
Well, he's quick, moves well, got some speed. He's maybe not as big as some of the guys that they've had before. The guy they had last year was real good for the last couple of years. A little bit bigger, more physical back. But he definitely gives them what they need, which is an explosive element coming out of the backfield. And so we'll have to definitely, get to him, get a lot of hats on the ball.
And what they feel they have overall team speed. And that's one thing they're going to need against a team like yours, to have good overall team speed on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, and as do we. So
Yeah.
I'd say it'll be a nice matchup from that standpoint.
And I think one of the things maybe they don't have is that they lack really experience, especially if they have to go a little deeper in their lines when it comes to offense or defense. They don't have the experience that you have on both of those lines.
That could be the case. Yeah, I mean, looking at them on film, looks like see some new numbers out there from previous years. I see there's a couple kids though, they're linebackers and such. I recognize the numbers on them, but they did graduate a couple real good linemen last year.
When you look at this team and you look at your offense and how you're going to come out, I know you come out with the idea and you're going to see if you can run the ball on them. That's what you do almost every ball game. The biggest thing is here in running the ball. Where do you see you'll have the most success? Inside, outside with this team?
I think our most success will come from being able to break some runs, whether it's inside or outside. They're going to they play an aggressive defense, the defense that really commits to a point of attack. So, I think that it'll be a system of us just, they may stop us down, and all of a sudden we may just hit the blocking perfectly
Right.
and get one of our fast backs to break something, or it could be like a counter type of situation where they're overly aggressive to one area and we're able to block it clean back away from that area, and again, because the fact that we have some backs that can go the distance and break one like that.
And like you mentioned to me last week about the fact that it's very rare that you see, twin safeties back there. You don't see too deep a lot on you. But some teams, I guess, maybe figure they're going to have to do that because of the fact that they got to respect the passing game so far as what Mike Alley's been able to do. Maybe not throwing a lot of passes. He's hit 50%, and of course he's hit some for touchdowns.
Well, I said after Rock North did it, I was a little surprised we see it this week, but also Satterton played a lot, especially early in the game.
Yeah.
They sat that safety back, that weak side safety, and Mike definitely, presents an issue if you want to walk that guy up to be that extra run stop guy on the weak side. He was shown that against Frankfurt.
Right.
That we can be pretty dangerous coming back at you there. So that'll be the decision that that Appleton's going to have to make.
All right, we're going to be back with more. We'll talk about the Pennsbury side of this ball game coming up and their players so far right after these messages.
Landolfi's Deli in Yardley at 90 West Afton Avenue in the Yardleyville Square. This beautiful new eat-in deli and restaurant is open 7 days from 8 a.m., serving breakfast, eggs, omelet, breakfast sandwiches, even breakfast burritos. And of course, Landolfi's famous hoagies, specialty sandwiches, panini sandwiches, and fresh deli wraps. Landolfi's Deli at 90 West Afton Avenue open 7 days a week, Monday through Saturday, 8 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Sundays, 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Call 215-321-4590.
Hi, this is Merrill Reese, and since 1986, McCaffrey's Supermarket has been a real supermarket experience and a very proud member of our community. Through good times and bad times, Jim McCaffrey and his family have been there to assist our neighbors when they needed help, whether it's helping flood victims, raising funds for the American Cancer Society, or supporting the local Little League teams. You can count on McCaffrey's to be there. McCaffrey Supermarkets, 635 Heacock Road in Yardley in the village of Newtown, at 2890 South Eagle Road, and also in Princeton and West Windsor.
The Pennsbury Football Parents Club reminds you to come out and support the Falcons. They'll be selling Pennsbury football merchandise at every home game. And if you can't make it out to the game, remember you can listen to it live on 1490 AM WBCB or watch the Falcons video stream live every game at WBCB1490.com.
Achieving what you want demands the right game plan. When you team up with PNC, you get the tools and know-how you need to get where you want to go. Whether it's buying a new home, sending your kids off to college, or retiring the way you want, PNC is here ready to help you achieve your financial goals. To discover all the ways PNC can help, stop by any branch or visit PNC.com. PNC for the achiever in you. PNC Bank, member FDIC.
We're back once more with the Galen Snyder Show, and of course we are brought to you by ARIA Health, your neighbors and friends here in Lower Bucks County. They're there for you to assist you when you are in need. And when it comes down to it, let's look at your ball club here. Again, a big night, last ball game at Souderton with your offensive backfield once more, and 4 more touchdowns along the way for the ever-present, and you got to try to stop him, Chuck Snorway. And then, of course, the others. Delgado had himself a big ball game as well. Raheem Thompson does his share of the load. Ruprecht got in there and got himself another TD as well. And you look at that, and one of the things I was looking at was the fact that, as you mentioned, Coach, about the fact that moving Snorway into the fullback position, and boy, he's had a couple of those runs. He had one last week again where, you know, he gets the ball right away because he's the first one, whether you're going to give it to him sometimes, Mike Alley, or go with someone else off the wing who's coming in motion. But boy, when that open hold is there quickly for Snorway, before you know it, he's in the secondary.
Right. Well, you know, Charles is, you know, he's getting a chance to run a little bit more downhill, being lined up directly behind the Q as opposed to coming across formation. And you know, he's the type of kid you really want there. You want a kid who's both physical, which he's shown himself to be with the blocking in previous years.
Yeah.
And also quick, good vision, and the speed to get through there. And he's got all those assets. And I think he's running, in addition to running fast, he's running physical the last couple games. Each game, you know, he's basically run over a defender that's been directly in his way. So he's showing all elements.
I know one of the things, Victor Delgado's a tough cookie. He's one that, you know, can get you tough yards. He's a real hard-nosed kid. He plays on both sides of the ball. He can play both of them very well, offense and defense. But I thought last week it was enjoying not only to see him run and go downfield, but he made some really nice moves in one of those runs that he had. He showed that he's more than just a hard runner who's not going to just run over you. He can make some moves.
Yeah, and so did Raheem. I thought,
yeah.
You know, both of them showed, you know, some real good wiggle and some good cutting ability. Yeah, I mean, when all 3 of those guys going, it really gives us, you know, gives the defense some issues.
Yeah, I noticed too a couple of times that you mentioned Raheem, and Raheem gets it, and he's another guy that if he gets, one man misses him, he's another guy that's got that kind of speed that can take it to the house right away. I mean, you've got 3 really good backs back there. There's no one really they can say, you know, okay, Snorway has got the stats, but the biggest thing is they got to respect the other 2 guys too.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. And with all 3 of the guys, it all starts with blocking. You know,
yeah.
In order to be in it and get the opportunity to get the ball and to carry the ball in our offense, you have to also be willing to block for the other guys. And you know, it's not like an eye offense where the tailback's sitting back there and he doesn't have to block. I mean, he just runs
He either gets the ball or he just takes it easy.
Right. I mean, you're either getting the ball in this offense, you're carrying a fake, or you're doing some heavy-duty blocking.
And I know you got to be thrilled with the fact that the way your O-line has really been performing for you. I mean, you know, every time I talk to one of your backs, they'll give the credit to the other guys in the backfield blocking for them, but they know it all starts up front there, and your guys have really been doing a nice job for you.
Yeah, and all the guys up front have been doing a real good job, especially like the seniors that are returning. You know, Mason, the center, and also
Austin,
Big Sam,
there.
and Austin.
Yeah.
O'Neill's been tremendous. So all 3 of those guys, and the other guys have been improving steadily as we go as well.
I know I saw Sam Raywood, this was 2 weeks ago at the Coaches Roundtable show that we have on Wednesday nights at Sandy's, and was mentioned by Cliff Stout to me, and I congratulated him that Sam Raywood's going to be in an all-star game in January down south, and you know, ESPN is going to cover that game, which I thought was neat to get someone for your team on a game.
Yeah, that's
like
what
that.
I hear. Sam's been invited to play in this all-star game, so that's pretty impressive.
Be looking forward to watching him on TV as well. We'll let the people know, certainly as we come up to it too. I'll let them know as well during the games when we get near that as to when that game's coming up so they can watch him on ESPN. We'll take a look at your defense coming up for you in just a moment.
Princeton University football, affordable family fun for everyone at one of the nation's finest on-campus football stadiums. Get your 2014 tickets now as the Tigers defend their Ivy League championship. The Tigers set Ivy League records in both scoring offense and total defense in 2013. And 9 All-Ivy selections returned this season, including Quinn Epperly, the reigning Offensive Player of the Year, and named to this year's Walter Payton Award watch list, along with All-Ivy defensive standout Anthony Gaffney. Tickets are on sale now for all 5 home games starting Saturday, September 27th, under the lights against Davidson. Ivy League foes Brown, Dartmouth, Penn, and Harvard visit Tiger Stadium in 2014. All single game tickets just $10, and season tickets for all 5 home games only $30. Group and youth tickets also available. For more ticket information, visit GoPrincetonTigers.com. That's GoPrincetonTigers.com. Princeton University Football. Affordable family fun for everyone. I'm Merrill Reese to tell you about our good friends at the Revere Ristorante Italiano in nearby Ewing Township at 802 River Road. I can tell you that from South Philadelphia to New York's Mulberry Street, there's no better Italian cuisine than that served at the Revere. Start your meal with one of their great appetizers or salads. Entrees include outstanding veal dishes, fresh seafood daily, excellent steaks and chops, homemade pasta dishes, daily specials, and much more. You can also enjoy their bar area, where on most weekends, entertainment is offered. The Revere also does off-premise catering and can accommodate private parties for any affair, including business functions. Call the Revere Ristorante Italiano for more information and reservations at 609-882-6365, 882-6365. The Revere Ristorante Italiano open Monday through Friday for lunch and 7 days for dinner at 802 River Road, right off the Wilbertha Road exit on Route 29 in nearby Ewing Township.
Oh, the corner kick's right to Chris. He's got a shot. Oh, no.
It happens fast, so we'll treat you fast. Introducing Rothman Orthopedic Urgent Care, where you're seen without an appointment by a Rothman orthopedic specialist. Fast, any day of the week.
Okay. Easy with his leg.
Rothman Orthopedic Urgent Care, now in Marlton, New Jersey, with more locations to come. It happens fast, we'll treat you fast. Rothman Orthopedic Urgent Care. See RothmanInstitute.com.
Experience the Volkswagen love by visiting Volkswagen of Langhorne, located at 1862 East Lincoln Highway, minutes away from Interstate 95. Family owned and operated for over 20 years, Volkswagen of Langhorne is located in the heart of Bucks County. As the leader in customer satisfaction in both sales and service departments, they provide the finest automotive experience to you, our neighbors. Visit Volkswagen of Langhorne today to see and drive the latest selection of new and certified pre-owned Volkswagens. Be sure to also take a test drive in some of the newest models available, such as the all-new GTI. Start experiencing Volkswagen of Langhorne today online at vwoflanghorne.com. That's vwoflanghorne.com.
Again, the Galen Snyder Show, and I'm Vince Reed. We're here talking about this upcoming game. We talked about Abington, the offense of Pennsbury, the defense of Pennsbury. And one of the things that I like about the defense, too, of this ball club is that some teams who have a quarterback who can throw, and Kretschmann, that they're going to be finding out this week, he can throw as well. But when you look at the stats of what Pennsbury's D has done, and you take a look at the takeaways on interceptions and the balls that have been batted down on passes, you got to be happy with the way the D is getting in there and really breaking up opportunities for teams to go in the air to you.
No, we have had some interceptions. We've done a real good job against the run, and I think a pretty good job against the pass when you consider the interceptions and such. But we can get better. You know, we're doing a nice job of playing real good defense, but I know there's, and that goes for both sides of the ball. We can definitely get better. I like our aggressiveness on defense. I like the way everybody's, flying to the ball. Everybody's being aggressive. Everybody's picked up the physical load,
right,
and really, taking on blockers, getting off, scraping off, making plays. So we're real pleased with that overall.
And you look at the team coming up in here, and here you coming up to this ball game, and this is your 5th game of the year, and usually I mention this to you when you get to this point. What do you think about how the team has progressed from the first game of the year to the point here where they are now? I know, in some areas you figure too that they can improve, and I'm sure they can, but at the same time, your thoughts of how the team is progressing week to week.
I mean, we've been strong since we had a, not a real effective second half against Rock South. We fumbled the ball, did a lot of things that didn't make us too happy. But I just think each week the kids have been working hard, and you know, if you look at our point totals, what we've been putting up there, and the defensive efforts, I just think that as we've, you know, and the teams are getting better too that we're playing because of the fact that they're progressing in their schedules as well. So
Yeah.
just the level of play overall, you know, as far as the football level of play is improving, as it does every year, you know, as you go through the season.
All right, so we're going to be taking you to the Abington Galloping Ghosts home because that's where the game's being played tonight for that one. Should be a really good ball game coming up between Pennsbury and Abington. Between the two of them, there's only one loss between the two ball clubs, and Pennsbury's undefeated. Abington, of course, comes in at 3-1, and they're looking to bounce back after a loss to the Chamonix, a close game last week. So we look for a really good game. We always have, it seems, for the most part, good games when we go up against Abington, especially at their place. And so we'll look forward to that game coming up in just a couple of minutes. And so for ARIA Health, which is, of course, our sponsor for the Galen Snyder Show, I want to thank them. And, of course, they're here for you to help you when you are in need. Go to ARIA Health. And for the Galen Snyder Show, I'm Vince Reed.